Tonight, the trouble with trains. So, let's start with speed. Who got there the fastest?
It took me longer than I thought it would take, but in the end it was 4.5 hours by car.
That's quite a long journey. How many stops did you make?
No, just a quick coffee stop.
Mr. Speaker, this new blueprint...
Grant Shapps is the Secretary of State in charge of transport and setting up the Great British Railways. So we've got a 3.8% rise in rail fares coming through in March. Why is this happening?
The fare rise that's going to come through is actually going to be below inflation, so it means actually a real terms cut in the cost of using the railway. And I think that gets the balance about right.
The way you describe this new system, this new future, sounds very much to me like a quiet renationalisation of the railways.
No, look, first of all, I don't really care whether an organisation is in public or private hands. All I care about is getting trains to run on time so passengers get a brilliant service.
The worlds of science and charity are coming together right here in Seattle because at this very moment, Bill and Melinda Gates are talking in that building to their foundation's Product Development Forum.
You were wealthy, successful as a couple and individually long before you started giving away the money. What was the thing that started this project off?
We weren't really sure where we could have a big impact. We didn't know much about poor countries. We certainly didn't know about the diseases. And so it was actually kind of stunning to find out about how little was going into malaria or diarrhea, pneumonia.
Bill, I think it was back in 2010 you spoke to MIT students, and I think you encouraged them to tackle the hard problems. Do you think that technology is the thing that will cure those problems? It is those brains that will do it?
Well, it gives us the capacity. Breakthroughs for something like malaria eradication, we need new tools. We have to fund the science.
I'm about to meet one of the richest and most powerful men, not just in Mexico, but in the entire world. He is the billionaire philanthropist and businessman Carlos Slim.
What is the hardest challenges that you've had to overcome in trying to make these achievements over the past 30 years?
The big challenge we have is the welfare of the people. And our foundation is working in this direction to try to make it available for everyone, to have all the peoples in our country the same opportunities.
We've talked about the past 30 years. In the next 30 years, someone wrote about the legacy that you and your foundation left Mexico. What would you like them to say about that legacy? What would you hope?
That my family maintain the responsibility and compromise, and all the team that is working in the foundations work in this direction more intensively, and also in labor, to find the employment.
Now the question for all of us is whether the politicians actually have an answer, or are they making it up as they go on, hoping things will somehow work out.
This government, and many in the world, are really groping their way. They really don't know what the answer is.
Do you feel that the government know what they're doing?
No.
Do you feel anyone knows what they're doing?
I don't really know.
A lot of people feel aggrieved and betrayed by the government. They've saved all their lives and they now feel let down. Do you feel that they have a point?
I can understand how people feel worried, but what I would say is, please let me reassure people that because of the action that we've taken,
Adam, budget today, of course. What did you make of it all?
Well, he said it wasn't going to be a giveaway budget, but I mean, there's so much politics involved here because we're coming up to the election. There were some headline-grabbing announcements.
View. That's when that one will be announced.
Yeah, that's the yes, you see, you're dragging it back to the actual story.
Someone has to.
Fantastic. Yeah, there is this thing we boringly called the comprehensive spending review.
But important.
It is important because normally all the attention's focused on the budget, but in a way this is the story that the dog that didn't bark, because we all know we're in terrible financial situation. There's got to be cuts. Amazingly, we didn't hear a lot about the cuts.
Yeah, of course not.
We're going to hear how that affects hospitals, schools, all of that sort of stuff in the comprehensive spending review. Guess when it happens?
Yeah.
After the
election.